make a mess out of the house with powdered donuts, you know, feed sugar, make absolutely, you bet.
That's a grand.
Then I can
Line
leave.
them all up and
Then I can leave.
And I also trained for,
Oh my gosh.
is that on this way?
Your library board meeting only lasted 38 minutes, Bill? What's that? Library board meeting only lasted 38 minutes?
Hey,
How
that was
did
a
you do
long
that?
one.
Sure.
We had a 24-minute meeting once.
When I was on that board, we would be there until 6 o'clock something.
How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing well,
You
thank
just
you.
gotta reel that conversation back to
When
the,
I was president of the board, they did not go that long. Nowhere near that long.
So what happens if we don't?
well, now that the window project is close, getting closer to wrapping up, there's really not that much.
Right.
That's why I politely asked you if you were sick.
But you're going
Okay.
At least I'm honest.
Give you access to it.
7 o'clock, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Councilmember Barlow.
Here.
Councilmember Bowers. Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Councilmember Furrow.
Here.
Councilmember Jarvis.
Here.
Councilmember McLean.
Here.
Councilmember Nesbitt.
Here.
Councilmember Resnick.
Here.
Mayor Thompson.
Here, entertain a motion to excuse Councilman Bowers.
So move.
Motion by Barlow, supported by Furrow.
No, did not support that. I
Didn't
said
support
no.
that?
I said no.
No, we didn't vote on it yet, though.
Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve his absence, so I hear a supported by Rezegi. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same.
No.
Pledge to the flag, please rise. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody, for coming tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody get a chance to look at the agenda? Any additions or corrections?
No, I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as written.
Support?
Support.
Motion made by McLean to approve the agenda as presented. That was supported by Jarvis. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Next item, approval of minutes of January 8th, 2024, workshop and regular meeting minutes. Everybody get a chance to look at them. Any additions or corrections? Entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented of the January 8th, 2024 workshop and regular meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Furrow, supported by Barlow. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow.
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis.
Yes.
Councilmember McLean.
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Resnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Public hearings, we have none. Public comment. Anybody out there in the public like to get up and address the council? I'll give you 3 minutes. Tell me who you are and if you're a resident. Anybody? Nobody? Formal recognition and presentations. On your agenda, you have a placeholder for Dave Hatfield. Dave Hatfield has a meeting tonight, so he won't be presenting tonight. Items for action by unanimous consent. In your packet, you have a request from the Hastings Hardball Softball Club to use the baseball field at Fish Hatchery and Bob King Parks as listed in your attachment and when available. We have somebody here from them tonight. Anybody have any questions before I ask for a motion? Okay, this is the same thing they've done in the past, and they coordinate it with the Y. So can I hear a motion to approve the request?
I'll make a motion to approve, Your
I'll
Honor.
support.
Okay, motion was made by Rezegi to approve the request from the Hastings Hardball Softball Club to use baseball fields at Fish Hatch Park, Bob King Park, as listed in the attachments when available. Any discussion?
I have a comment. I appreciate when people are on the agenda, when they show up, if we do have questions, so thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
There's a few of you there tonight, so.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. Otherwise, I'd have voted no. No, just kidding, just kidding. No further questions or comments. Roll call.
Councilmember Furrow.
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean.
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brem,
Yes.
Mayor Tassavo.
Yes. In your packet, you have 7 invoices totaling $348,185.56, and you have detailed attachments in that packet. I hear a motion to approve and place on file 7 invoices totaling $348,185.56.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Motion by Barlow, supported by McLean, to receive and place on file 7 invoices totaling $348,145.56 as detailed in the attachment. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean.
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brem,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Mayor Tassavo.
Yes. I want to make a comment about one of the invoices in here. Fire Department Exhaust Mitigation System, $75,958. I think this money was well spent. I had the occasion last week to be at the fire department when the alarm came in, and the chief flew out the door past me. So I wandered in the building and stood there for a few minutes, and Chris Comundi, our firefighter, hopped in the truck, started it up. I watched the plug-in for the wiring pop out of the truck. The door is going up on the front of the building. He's got the engine running. I can't smell a thing in there. There's no exhaust smell at all in there. And as he drove out, the exhaust system followed him on a trolley. When it got to the end of the trolley, it unhooked from the truck. I think it was money well spent, because I think this is going to make this job for firefighters, or volunteers, or full-time people a lot safer over there. So I thank you for approving that. Okay, next item. Consider entering into a ground lease agreement with Berry County Central Dispatch as presented. Entertain a motion to approve the ground lease agreement with Berry County Central Dispatch.
So moved. Support.
Motion by Nesbit, supported by Brem.
Yep.
To enter into the ground lease agreement with Berry County Central Dispatch as presented. Discussion. We have the director here, so if you have any questions about the tower. Roll call.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brem,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Mayor Tassavo.
Yes. Item B, consider authorizing the city manager to execute both the memorandum of understanding and cooperative program agreement with Thornapple Arts Council as presented. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved. Support.
Motion by Brem, supported by Nesbit, to authorize city manager to execute both the memorandum of understanding and cooperative program agreement with Thornapple Arts Council as presented. Megan's here. Anybody got any questions of her? Roll call.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brem,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean.
Yes.
Mayor Tassavo.
Yes. Item C, consider a request from Thornapple Arts Council to hold the Jazz Festival April 25th through April 27th, 2024, and approve the collection of donations and merchandise sales during both the Jazz Festival and the Hastings live programming season runs from June 5th, 2024 through August 24th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Motion by Brem, supported by McLean, to approve the request from the Thornapple Arts Council to hold the Jazz Festival April 25th through April 27th, 2024, and approve the collection of donations, merchandise sales during both the Jazz Festival and the Hastings live programming season, running from June 5th, 2024 through August 24th, 2024. Any discussion? Still here. Anybody got any questions of Megan back there? Roll call.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brand,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean.
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbitt,
Yes.
Mayor Tausif.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations, another year. Item D, consider adoption of resolution 2024-02 for workforce housing pilot exemption and restrictive covenant for Meadowstone Phase 3 LLC for property located at 710 Barfield Drive in substantially the format attached to the project approved by city attorney. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make that motion. Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Nesbitt and supported by Jarvis to adopt resolution 2024-02 for workforce housing pilot exemption and restrictive covenant for Meadowstone Phase 3 LLC for property located at 710 Barfield Drive of substantially the format attached, subject to approval by the city attorney. Questions?
What is a pilot exemption?
Sure.
Explain the program name?
We don't want to go too fast.
Pardon me?
I said we don't want to go too fast. You can.
Oh, okay. The pilot exemption, that's a payment in lieu of taxes. So basically, it's a service charge in lieu of ad valorem taxes. Ordinance number 622 that was passed, I believe it was last month, was the overreaching or overarching ordinance that pertains to these type of pilot programs. Historically, pilot programs have been reserved for the low-income housing tax credits through MISTA. With Senate Bill 432 that passed a couple of years ago, projects such as this that aren't LIHTC or low-income housing tax credit programs, as long as the housing is going to be provided for individuals that are at 120% or less of the area median income, developers, whether it be for-profit or nonprofit, can take advantage of these pilot programs. So this particular one is in respect to the Meadowstone project, where they're going to be constructing 5 new buildings with 92 additional one-bedroom units that will all be earmarked for that workforce or attainable housing spectrum of the demographics. And what Meadowstone has proposed is a 12-year program with the service charge assessed at 5% of the net shelter rents.
So if all the units are rented, we get 5% of the rent
Of the net shelter rents, correct,
for the year.
for the next 12 years.
Well, every year is going to be different, isn't it?
Yeah, based on the
Based on
information,
their rent.
correct,
So if it's half full, we get less money. If it's full, we get the full amount.
that's correct.
Okay.
Do we know, I just want to clarify, this is not a low-income housing project, correct? Because a lot of misconceptions between public and whatnot. This is
Right,
not-
this is classified as attainable or workforce housing, where the tenants, their income cannot exceed 120% of the area median income, whether that be for a one individual household, 2 individual, 3 individual. Again, these are all 1 bedrooms that Meadowstone is proposing. So likely it'll be a housing structure of 2 to 3 individuals, likely. But it is based on household size and income.
So, back to the money now. The schools get their 18 mills, correct? Do they get the 18 mills? Because
Well, the taxing bodies, their portion is split up based on their millage rates. And that's a fair
the
statement.
county we're not getting the whole 5%, the city of Hastings.
Oh, correct. We'll split that up with the other taxing bodies.
Do we know what the difference is approximately, what the tax revenue would be from that versus this payment?
Joel, do you have that
I
off
don't have the
the?
delta on that. I can get that, but it's, yeah, I mean, right now it's based on what our actuals would be and what that appraised value of the property would be,
Right.
kind of thing, but it's in the earlier phase, it's gonna end up being really close, and then there's the departure from it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, to begin with, it'll be relatively close because there are projections, obviously, of occupancy, the occupancy not being 100% for the first year or so. But then as occupancy increases, that departure would be greater from what we typically would collect. But
Something else too, though, Dan, depends on how you qualify to be in there, what your, the rent isn't gonna be the same for everybody. So if you have people that are on the higher end of that income, then the rent's gonna be higher. So you don't really know. If you start out with a bunch of people that are lower on that scale, then that 5% isn't gonna be a lot of money. It will be a lot of money, but it won't be as much as what the taxes would normally be. But as you rent those places out to people that are maybe, let's say, a little better off, then the rent's gonna be higher. So there's gonna be more, the 5% of that is gonna
Right.
be higher, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, do you want me to?
sure, if you'd like to. Joel Camster is representing Meadowstone.
Yeah, so again, as Dan mentioned, this program was, it was roughly last year that the state passed the Senate Bill 432, which, as he mentioned, applied to all projects that would meet this workforce housing. And so that workforce housing is defined as 120% of AMI. So we would still qualify this as market rate, but we are limited on the amount of rent that we can charge the tenants because it is all income based. So to your point, like if you make $30,000 a year, I mean, we will set the rent in this property, but that is fixed by MISHDA. So we couldn't say rent is $3,600 a month, for your income level. It would be everybody that's in there. If it's one individual, would be set at a fixed rent. If it's two individuals, it's a different rent. If it's three individuals, it's a different rent. And so that's where you still have to qualify. So there's an annual compliance period to make sure that we're not, you're not leasing these units to somebody that makes $200,000 a year, because the whole incentive of it is to try to make sure that this workforce or this missing middle type of housing, to your point, it's not low income housing where it's truly like income based, and it's not, sky's the limit on rent, luxurious housing. It's really trying to meet where the demand is. And so again, just in the way that pilot works is it says, this is not like property tax that's being spent. It's not taxpayer money being spent to support this project. It is just an abatement on that property tax so that a development like this can pencil out because of the dramatic increase in construction and land cost, et cetera. And so this is saying, let's give projects that are meeting this workforce housing a financial incentive by way of reducing the property tax and just fixing it to this 5% service charge. And then when that period is done, it checks up to what it would normally be assessed at. And so it's helpful for a developer because you can say, gee, I was going to build all these apartments. I was factoring in having a year and a half of a lease up period. But unfortunately, the way the property taxes work is they generally don't care if you're occupied or unoccupied. Your property taxes are what they are, and that's always a fixed amount, and it is almost in all cases the most expensive operating expense of a real estate project. So this allows us to come in here and develop a project like this to meet a housing need, alleviate the burden of what a property tax would typically be, yet still pay for, the 5% service charge to still pay for those essential services, and then have kind of an on-ramp to get up to what a normal property assessment would be on it. So it's very impactful, especially in today's market, to be able to get housing off the ground, and that's why the state had put this through to try to facilitate that.
Now, are all pilot programs 5%?
Pilot programs can vary. There's a prescriptive amount, like the state doesn't define, like they define a period. Typically a period is a max of 15 years. There's also, as you guys are probably aware, there is the county will also have to agree to this pilot resolution, but it's in line with the ordinance that was previously passed, and it's not a I don't know if you could set it at like 1% or something like that, but it's a very common, like, kind of market rate amount for the service charge.
How did we come up with the 5%?
The 5% is based on conversations with city staff that we've had, and just, conversations with what our pro forma looks like in terms of where we need the benefit to pencil out. If it was if it was higher than that, if it was, say, 10%, 8%, those kind of numbers, then it's just where the property tax on the start becomes kind of cumbersome to it. So it's that give and take.
How did we come up with 12 years then?
So the 12 years is just, trying not to ask for the whole maximum period of 15 years, but trying to get to what actually the project needs. We'd love to have 15 years, obviously, but 12 years is kind of right at that point where hopefully the property is operating enough where we feel there's enough to have, reserves and operate it properly as we normally would fit in that pile there.
Do you know approximately what the rents are going to be on these units?
So I don't know for certain right now where they will be. I can tell you, and again, I would have to look in my notes to see what MISHDA says that those rents cannot exceed, but these rents, I believe, are going to be in the, I think it's like $1,500 to $1,600 for a one-bedroom. These will all be one-bedroom, so right in that range. There may be some variance on that price based on, like, generally an upper-level unit can rent for a little bit more, but it's all very regulated by MISHDA. MISHDA has a very prescriptive formula to say, if you're in Berry County, if you're a one-bedroom unit with one person in the household, here's the max rents, and they're right within that, what they deem as, again, not definitionally affordable, but in the workforce housing, again, so it's not, trying to get at folks that don't have incomes. These will be people that are employed and within that range. It's not to say you couldn't rent to somebody that has, is making up 30% AMI, but they probably wouldn't be able to afford a $1,500 rent payment. So it's more aimed at folk, teachers, police officers, firefighters, our essential worker type of category that fits within that.
Anybody else got a question before are you done, Mandy? Any other questions now?
No.
So, we have a few pilot programs in Hastings now, don't we?
For low income, this would be our first workforce housing pilot.
Well, this is a brand new program.
Correct, yep.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brem,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
No.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Mayor Toski.
Yes. Okay, item E. In your packet, you have a proposal for MCSA Group for design, bidding, and construction oversight for the Fish Hatchery restroom project, the amount of $47,614. Do I hear a motion to approve that proposal?
So moved.
Motion by
Support.
Nesbit, supported by McLean, to approve the proposal for MCSA Group for design, bidding, and construction oversight for the Fish Hatchery Park restroom project, the amount of $47,614. Questions?
What type of restroom are we gonna have for $450,000?
So
That's
it's
a
one
lot of money.
structure that has like a walkway through it that can be closed, so it's a lot easier to close off the restrooms to winterize them than what we currently have. But they're individual family-style restrooms rather than the gendered restrooms that we currently have. They're much more friendly to families and persons with disabilities. I did ask, part of what drove this design was the universal design guidelines that we were using as a baseline for the grant that we were intending to acquire. I did ask our consultant if it would be less expensive if we did them a different way, like we had it sort of set up the way it is now instead of doing the family restrooms. And she said it's really just based on square footage. So changing that structure really wouldn't modify the cost. We don't know what the real cost is going to be until it's bid out. But that's what the current estimate is.
So,
And that's all inclusive. That includes the design costs, so that the amount that you're approving tonight is included in that 450,000. And that's a little bit of what I think might be a high estimate, but estimates have been all over the place, and I wanted to give us some room.
I'm just trying to say that, you know, some of these estimates we're getting in lately for different things are just outrageous. And we've got to start cutting back on what we're spending on things like this, or at least take a double look at it.
absolutely.
Not saying it isn't needed.
Lost my thought.
So this MCSA are gonna be like a construction manager.
They would do all of it. They do the design as well. They do the architecture and do the construction management as well.
Oh, no, I remember my
This is the
question.
same company that's doing streetscape project, right?
Yeah, we've worked with them a number of times.
So when you put this out for bid, they know that you're budgeting about this amount of money?
I mean, this is public information, but we would get multiple bids, so typically is what happens. And we don't have to accept them.
I just feel like when it's coming to government work, these contractors are bidding a lot more because they know that we're gonna pay it. And it's getting to be, like John said, ridiculous. For $450,000, that, for a bathroom, that just seems excessive.
So part of it is that it's a commercial building. So all commercial buildings are going to cost more to construct than residential, if that's what you're used to comparing it to. And I don't know that you are, but.
But it's not even finished work. I mean, this isn't like we're putting carpet and fine detail and, you know, nice fixtures and all that kind of stuff. And this is just for a bathroom.
It's the demolition of the existing, restoration of the site, construction of the new, and utilities as well.
But like plumbing and utilities is already there, so it's not like we gotta bring that in.
It needs to be modified substantially.
There's one line that goes in the fish hatcher out there, it runs the fountain, it runs all the bathrooms, runs the water at
just to design.
the old Arts Council building, so if you shut one off, water shut off everything.
Toilet?
It was, and I don't know that we even know where all the water's at out there. I assume they do, but that's why they have to shut off the main shut-off when you come into the park, because we don't know where all the other ones are at. And it was built back in the 80s and 90s. You'd think it'd be easy to find, but it's not.
My next question is, how are we gonna police this and monitor it? Because we've had a lot of vandalism in these facilities. How are we gonna keep, we've got a $450,000, you know, building, how are we gonna keep that from being broken into and ruined like it is now?
So they have gates, or that's what our most recent discussion about the design would be, to have gates that come down that would close off the restroom area in its entirety when we want them closed for longer periods of time. So we could decide if we want that overnight or not, or if it's just more for the winter or when we're closing for the season. We also have the option to add timed locks if we wanted. We could add security cameras. I mean, there's a wide variety of things. I don't know what would be most appropriate to that site. I'm not familiar with what specific kinds of vandalism have occurred at this particular restroom, or if those would continue with the new design. But there are definitely security elements that we can evaluate what might be most appropriate for this site.
I think since we started, especially out there, and I think we have time locks on Spray Plaza, Thornapple Plaza over here, and I think we have it at Bob King Park. Out there, what I see just my driving around at night and during the early morning hours, the hospital has security out there. I don't know if that's going to help, you know, that's not their job. They're down there you know, for the safety of the employees that work the hospital that walk up that. But, I don't know, Dale could probably, do we have a lot of vandalism going on out there?
There's always going to be vandalism, obviously, no matter
Right.
how many people we have on the street. A lot, that a term that's probably subjective. I mean, one occasion is probably a lot, and depending on what it may be. Lately, I don't believe there to be any vandalism, you know, that's been reported in regards to city stuff there, or city equipment. But I'd have to pull reports to let you know exactly how much, you know, over the course of the last couple of years. But there has been some, obviously. You know, typically it's whether it's writing on the walls or vandalizing some equipment inside the bathroom. There has been some, yes.
One of the main ways, though, you know, I remember back when I was in high school, they had a real big drug problem down in Titan Park. Well, you know how they kind of eliminated the drug problem? They put a soccer field in down there, and people were down there all the time. And it's like, you know, the request tonight to use the fish hatchery ball field, you know, the more people we have down, the more activities we have down there, less chance you're going to have vandalism. You know, the problem we have right now is because that bathroom is in such bad disrepair, nobody wants to be down there. You know, they use the ball field over there, they use the bathroom on the Cook Road side, and people don't use that bathroom like they, you know, it's just nasty. And we just put in over $100,000 worth of playground equipment down there, but we're trying to attract young people with their kids, and we have a bathroom. I wouldn't let my grandkids in those bathrooms. You know, I don't, it does seem like a lot of money, but I don't think vandalism ought to deter anything as far as putting money into that park. We got $1 million facility sitting over here that, you know, we weren't concerned when that was built, so anyhow.
It might help
Part of the
also.
problem-
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, part of the problem with our current building is it was built very cheaply. It wasn't really a building, it was more made to be kind of like one of those pavilions that we have that are the same shape, and then just, they put walls on it and put toilets in it. That's basically what it is. It wasn't, it's not really a structure. And so, I'm sure there's a way that this could be cheaper, but I don't want to be in the same position we're in now, or somebody else would be in the same position 30, 40 years from now, saying, why did they build this junky building? It's not keeping up with use, and then they have to reconstruct again. We should be able to construct a building that can last a substantially longer amount of time than what we have in there now. As bad as that current bathroom is, it's not that old. That's why we can't get the grant, because it's not old enough to get enough points to qualify for the grant. But it was built so cheaply that it's outlived its useful life, and that's why we have this crunch. So yes, this is a significant investment, but it's an investment in improving the quality of life and the benefit of our parks to our residents. Restrooms are one of the top things that people ask for in their parks. If you had a chance to look at the Park and Recreation Survey, it's scored very highly. People value effective restroom facilities in our parks. This is the worst park restroom that we have. It's an investment in ourselves, and hopefully not hopefully, it will be something that will last much longer than what we've had now.
Does it have to be this big? Could we cut it in half to get the price down?
Half is a lot. We could maybe, I can talk to the architect about making it somewhat smaller, but I don't know how much space there is to give and keep it universally accessible.
Do we need 4 stalls, 4 rooms? Can we have 2?
We currently have 4 stalls out there, so I wouldn't want to do less than that. So this is just a drawing of a similar restroom.
One of the problems we have too, when that was built back in the early 80s, I think it was, we didn't have ADA rules or any of that
Right,
stuff.
ADA didn't exist then.
No, no. And part of getting the cost up there is some of the things you gotta do to make that compliant.
Correct.
It's not just putting 36-inch doors on, there's other things too. Type of bat, and I don't know if you all remember here, a month or so ago, we approved the pricing on improvements to City Hall downstairs, and one of them was a drinking fountain, $4,000. You know, and but see, that's gotta be ADA compliant. Simple little thing like a bottle fill station on it, they're quite expensive.
Well, and this goes, I'm glad you mentioned ADA. This actually goes a step beyond ADA. ADA is the bare minimum that's required by federal law. This is the next level, which is universal accessibility, which is designed to be much more favorable to go further for accessibility standards.
I have a statement and a question. My statement is, you know, we got involved on the fire station. We're all thinking it's gonna be $5-6 million to do. Would it wind up $9 million?
Or more.
Or
20.
Finally?
So,
I mean, it just,
but that was
it's unbelievable.
based on our knowledge of similar buildings that had been built, or what we felt were similar amongst our own experience. This estimate is from the consultant based on, they built similar restrooms recently,
Right.
and that's where they're.
And that's the point I'm getting at. We all thought it was gonna be $5 million, it turns out to be $9 million. We're not experts on what the cost of some of this stuff is.
Sure.
The next thing is, you know, it's the projected cost of $450. You said, well, it could be less than that. I wish that number wasn't there. You know, would it be an inconvenience to have them do all the work up till the construction bids and have us approve the bids then?
We talked about
How many
that.
companies
The
are gonna
problem with, I don't think that we can do the construction administration because it's a building.
No,
It's
have them
not-
do it, but have them, they're gonna have contractors come in and give bids, right? Are they the construction company too?
They're going to bid out the projects.
Right. When we get how many bids they're gonna get? 3, 4, or?
I don't know.
Street shape project, we got one bid on that.
Yeah,
The parking lot over here, parking lot number 8, one bid on that. Then we had to negotiate with them, get the price down.
Any bids received, we have to approve.
Correct, yep,
I
once the
think
bidding
that
process
was
goes
to
through, you'll
Al's
approve
point.
the bid. Staff will make a recommendation, and you would then approve it or deny it. We could rebid it. If you don't like the prices, we could do any number of things. So you're not committed to spending $450,000.
Okay.
Today, what we're looking at is the $47,614.
Right.
So we can work on the design and get that
So
going.
are you saying it's coming back to us again?
For when the bid comes back, yes.
Good.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you will approve
All
the
we're
bid.
approving is, okay.
Correct. All
That
you're
was my
approving at this
question.
point is the MCSA proposal.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? You read that motion back to me, Chris? I think I wrote down the right ones.
Consider approval of proposal from MCSA Group for design, bidding, construction oversight for the fish hatchery restroom project, the amount of $47,614. Motion by Councilmember Nesbitt, support by Councilmember McLean.
Okay, I thought I wrote down right. Any other questions? Roll call.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow?
No.
Councilmember Jarvis?
Yes.
Councilmember McLean?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbitt?
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi?
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow?
No.
Mayor Tassava?
Yes. Okay, item F, a motion to approve a purchase order for diesel fuel from Kent Oil Company and propane in the amount of $18,500. Do I hear a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion by Brown,
Support.
supported by Jarvis. Motion by Brem, supported by Jarvis, to approve the purchase of diesel fuel from Kent Oil and Propane in the amount of $18,500. Questions? Roll call.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brem,
Yes.
Mayor Tassava.
Yes. Item G, motion to approve the purchase of 4 fire hydrants from East Jordan Iron Works in the amount of $11,443.92.
I'll make that motion. Support.
Motion by Barlow, supported by Brem, to approve the purchase of 4 fire hydrants from East Jordan Iron Works in the amount of $11,443.92. Questions? Roll call.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brem,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Mayor Tassava.
Yes. Okay, in your packet, we need to consider authorizing the city manager to negotiate terms of one-time listing agreement, purchase agreement, and development agreement with CRE Holdings LLC, submitted by Pat Duzma representing Keller Williams Realty for a city-owned 8.36 plus or minus acre parcel of property north of Enterprise Drive on Star School Road. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Nesbit,
Support.
supported by Barlow, to authorize city manager to negotiate terms of one-time listing agreement, purchase agreement, and development agreement with GRE Holdings LLC, submitted by Pat Duzma representing Keller Williams Realty for a city-owned 8.36 plus or minus acre parcel of property north of Enterprise Drive on Star School Road. Questions?
I want to reconsider the way that this motion is listed, if you will. It doesn't explicitly authorize the sale, Dan.
It does not. Do you have the mayor and clerk sign it? Is that what you're asking?
Because, so with this property, we didn't intend to bring it back. It was a sale, that was
Oh,
my understanding.
correct.
So that's, the motion doesn't state that it's being sold, it just says negotiate the terms of these agreements. So it should then say,
And
Negotiate the
authorize the
terms
mayor
and
and
sale?
clerk to sign the,
and to approve the sale.
and to approve the sale, correct.
Yes.
Well, and what they have to, what she wants them to do also, this has kind of happened in the past, we've sold property and they haven't come up with any kind of a plan to what they're gonna do with the developing of that property, and then your agreement, you wanna have that in there.
Yes, so this property, this parcel is not a part of the restrictive covenant like the rest of the industrial park is. And so I'd like to negotiate a development agreement. It will be fairly basic, but to ensure that they construct within a certain amount of time, or we have the first right of refusal on the property. That's really the main thing that I want to get to. That's why we developed the industrial park, to have development there. And sometimes people's plans don't work out, and that's okay, different things happen, but we want to be able to regain control of the property and have another go at having somebody be able to do that. So that's my main concern with having a development agreement.
Good.
I've got 2 questions. What was this listed for? I didn't see that in there, the price. I seen what their offer was for, but I didn't see what that was
So,
listed for.
It's a old listing agreement. I don't know when it expired, a few years ago. Dan.
2020,
At that time, it was listed at $5,000 an acre.
yes.
And they're offering
56
56, I think.
change.
Say that again, so it's 8.36. They were offering, what did I see? Was it 49 or?
46, 650.
I think what happened in the past, if I remember right, the LDFA kind of, and they kind of come up with that $5,000 an acre. And $5,000 seems like it's pretty cheap, but what we're trying to do out there is create jobs. We're trying to
Well, that was,
create economic development. And that's why the price of this property is so low. You know, if you had 8 acres anywhere else around the county, it'd be a lot higher than that. But the end game has always been economic development, and that's why the price has always stayed down. All the properties that line on the north side and the south side of Enterprise Drive, that basically has contact with that road, all have a protective covenant that we sell the property for $5,000. If you don't do anything with it in 5 years, we can get the property back. And I think what Sarah's trying to do with that agreement out there is they're going to tell us they're going to do something with it within a couple of years. And at the end of 5 years, if something's not done, we can go after it, right?
my next question was this, I lost my papers here. This holding company, GE.
The purchaser?
Yes, the address for it is in Middleville, but I was looking it up and they're out of Florida. I'm confused by.
I don't know where they're registered, but they
What do they
operate
do?
Middleville.
Trucking company.
Yeah, it's Grand Rapids Express Trucking. They have they're a truck terminal, basically. They lease space in Middleville currently, and they'd like to acquire a property and own it permanently. So their plans is to establish a truck terminal here in Hastings. The industrial districts allow those as permitted uses. And what they're trying to do is break into the market that we have already, the kind of the inherent market that we have with quality aluminum, Hastings Manufacturing, Viking, Hastings Fiberglass, Hastings Manufacturing, and hopefully grab some of that trucking market that's right here.
Hopefully, when our past council people, when we did Enterprise Drive, we made a thicker asphalt and all those things to handle semis, and being an industrial area, you're gonna have more of that.
Right.
I'm sitting here, thinking about Charles Street up to the school. You have those school buses that tears up the road because it's not built for that kind of traffic. So I just hope that they were smart back then doing
Well,
that.
they just redid that this summer, this
That's what he's
fall.
saying.
Did what?
Redid that road there, Enterprise.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, Enterprise was remilled and resurfaced, I believe, with 4 inches of asphalt.
About this we're talking about.
Good.
So will it handle a trucking company in and out of there?
Sure shouldn't it, Travis?
I think it's one of the strongest roads we have.
It's considered a Class A road now, similar to what State Road is all the way in the middle. Any other questions? Did you want to change the wording of this? or-
If we could just add maybe at the end that it's, and to authorize the sale or because this just says negotiate the terms. But maybe negotiate the terms and authorize the sale. That doesn't make sense grammatically. Let's see. We'll try to make a sentence that makes sense. Motion to.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So basically it says that though, Sarah. It says negotiate terms of one-time listing agreement, purchase agreement, and development agreement.
But that's just the terms of the agreement itself. It's not necessarily authorizing the sale.
Can you just add and sale?
Yeah.
Can I ask one more question about this? We haven't gotten to it yet, but we are going to come up with the developer that was going to develop the property, the north side of town. They're giving up that to go. They want to buy this property from the city, which backs up to this, correct?
It's adjacent to that
Adjacent
property,
to it.
yes.
That's separate.
I know
item on the
that
agenda.
my
Well, we
question-
shouldn't talk about it then. I don't know what well, go ahead with your
My
question.
question is, do this developer know that maybe going in there, in that they would not want to develop that property for housing and stuff if that was connected to that property.
They know that that property is available for sale as an industrial property, so they should be very aware that the future of that parcel is to be developed for industrial purposes.
It's kind of just like when they developed the trailer park out there. When they did develop that, they knew that there was an industrial district there when they did it. So what wording do you want to change?
What do you want to say, Chris? Just say and approve the sale of the property. Oh, and to authorize, probably the clerk and the mayor to transact the sale of the property.
I'm good with that amendment. So moved.
Barlow, Nesbeth approved the modification to the agreement. Did you, made the motion on that? Motion made by Nesbeth, supported by Barlow.
Are you still making the motion?
I made the motion.
I will support it.
Okay, motion made by Nesbeth, supported by Barlow, to amend the agreement to include sale of property.
And to authorize the clerk and the mayor to transact the sale of property.
Okay. Everybody get that? Any other questions? Roll call.
Councilmember McLean?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbit?
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi?
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow?
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis?
Yes.
Mayor Tausig?
Yes. Okay, next item, consider authorizing city staff to prepare a notice informing the public of the availability to purchase a vacant city-owned parcel number 0855-240-105-00, and upon expiration of the notice, authorize city manager to negotiate a land sale for the property. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Motion by Jarvis,
Support.
support by Nesbit.
Yep.
To authorize city staff to prepare a notice informing the public of availability to purchase a vacant city-owned parcel number 05-55-240-105-00, and to upon expiration of the notice, authorize city manager to negotiate a land sale for the property. Questions?
When you make the residents aware that that parcel is for sale, will you put a price on it at that point?
What we'll probably do is note what we believe an estimate of the value is, but that doesn't mean that that's necessarily what we'll end up with. So depending on what they want to build on that site, which they may ask for certain incentives, there may be some give or take there. So we're kind of leaving it open for them to bring proposals based on what makes the most sense for their specific project.
I just asked because we don't know necessarily what they were going to pay for that property, the other end of town. I know what it got sold for from the person that sold it the first time, but now that the new owners have it, do we know what they were going to pay for that property?
I don't know what they were going to pay for it, but we know what it was assessed as. We know what the assessed value was on the taxes, so we can make a good argument for a reasonable estimate on that particular property. I don't know the comparable value for this property or for the developer even, if the project could be the same size or smaller, if there's other costs associated with it. So those will all factor in.
Something else that could be affected by it too, and Al just pointed out to me, it's at the end of Orchard Street, and there's really no real street down there. There's dirt down in there. No curb and gutter. I think there's water and sewer, but that's all.
There's some utilities,
Yep,
yeah,
water,
but
sewer,
there's
and I don't
it's
think
just
you're
dirt
storing.
there, correct.
So did we never set the price on the, we had kind of an idea what we wanted for the Star School Road property, didn't we? The 17 acres over there?
Yeah, we had talked with our assessor,
The property that's listed with Miller currently?
Yes, and Miller also gave us some guidance on
Yeah,
what would
and
be a good.
That's listed at 99,000, I believe.
But nobody's offers that kind of money for it.
No.
Or I remember,
And that's industrial property.
there's been a
That's
couple of low balls on it, so, yeah. Well, I think this property here is more developable because it's residential.
Yes, yes, and Dan's had many discussions over the years with different developers about doing something here, and it just hasn't ever gone to fruition. So we're hopeful that we'll get a good offer and get a plan together.
Is that
There's-
R1?
It's R2.
R2.
And the other one was R1, and didn't they come to us to ask it to be changed
They
to
did a
R2?
conditional rezoning, yes.
Okay, any more questions? So we have a motion and support. Motion by Jarvis, supported by, was that Nesbit? Who supported that?
Who's Bill?
Nesbit.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Been so long ago you forgot, huh? To authorize staff to prepare a notice informing the public of availability to purchase a vacant city-owned parcel number 08-55-240-105-00. And upon expiration of the notice, authorize city manager to negotiate a land sale for the property. Any further questions? Roll call.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis.
Yes.
Councilmember McLean.
Yes.
Mayor Cosner.
Yes. Item J, in your packet, you have an increase in engineering fees associated with Green Street and Market Street improvements for work to be performed by Moore and Berg Inc. in the amount of $18,300. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Brem. Do I hear support?
Support.
Support by Nesbit. Questions?
On the amount of 18,300, on the sheet that we were handed to today, it's stating 9,300. What is the explanation on that?
The 9,300 is for the concept portion of it. But if we approve of the concepts and want to implement them into the plan design, that's when the additional cost would come in.
Okay.
It's probably, I don't know if it's not likely that we'll do all 4 of these elements, but we may not, but it wouldn't be above that amount of money. We don't really know what we want to do there, if any of these elements, yet. We really need the concept to figure that out. So it could be up to 18,300.
Any further questions? I like the roundabout concept at Market Street. I was intrigued by some of the items that were brought up at our workshop a few weeks ago. I think a roundabout, we have a lot of people live on Green Street that have complained over the years about the speed of traffic down through there, heavy trucks and all that. And I think a roundabout and you'd have to widen the intersection, a roundabout at Market and Green Street would be something I would approve of. So anyhow, any other questions, comments?
Where was, the other one is at Fish Hatchery Park or at the cemetery there in Green Street? Is this something about?
They said the Ironside Drive or at the entrance to the Fish Hatchery Park.
That's the entrance, so.
Yeah.
Just right.
So what this is gonna do is gonna approve them looking into a concept for a roundabout at Green Street and Market Street. They talked about some kind of a pedestrian street crossing in the McNair Street area by the hospital, and what that would do if we decide, because of our Parks Master Plan, if we run that trail down to Sweezy's Pond, that's where that trail would go. So that would be kind of a crossing on Green Street for that park that's back in there. And also they talked about the amount of traffic that people encounter coming out of Fish Hatchery. That's why they talked about some kind of a traffic control device or a roundabout there, but it wasn't firmly there or Ironside Drive, right? There was nothing proposed for Cook Road and Green Street, right?
Well, Cook Road, no, there wasn't. Cook Road would have to be a regular size roundabout, which would be a lot more expensive because it would have to cater to semi-trucks.
But what we're talking about right now is between Market Street and Ironside Drive, right?
That's right.
Okay. Any other questions? So we have a motion by Brown, supported by Nesbeth, to approve an increase of engineering fees associated with Green Street and Market Street improvements for work to be performed by Moore and Brugink. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anybody hear from there?
You said it right.
Did I? Just don't sound right. In the amount of $18,300. Any further comments? Roll call.
Councilmember Rezegi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesbit,
Yes.
Mayor Tussle.
Yes. Whew. Staff presentation, policy discussion, none. City manager report.
Just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, please complete your annual conflict of interest form. That's up at your place. If you could bring that to Chris tonight, that would be great, and we will get those filed. I also wanted to let you know, you may remember a few months ago, you approved a marketing agreement for the service line warranty program. Those mailings are going to residents the week of January 31st, and then there will be a subsequent mailing as a reminder about 4 weeks later. And we'll do those mailings a couple of times a year. So just be on the lookout for that. And let people know if they have any questions, feel free to give us a call.
Any questions of Sarah? Well, we got her up at the podium. Library Director Hemmerling's report is in your packet. Anybody have any questions of that? Peggy's not here. I think somebody says she's on vacation.
Yeah.
Probably
The
enjoying it.
windows look awesome.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
looking
they
great.
It's amazing how
They're turning
made the
out
building
really good.
look that much nicer.
Yeah, like new
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, brand new.
It was over $1 million.
Yeah.
And item B, Police Chief Boulder's monthly and annual report. Now, I know Dale doesn't like to talk, I always mention this, so does anybody have any questions of Dale before I ask him to sit down?
I had a question. Where was there fatality at? Was there a car accident fatality?
Yes, in December, down by the dollar store.
I didn't think that was the city, that's why I was confused with.
Yeah, it's a shared jurisdictional roadway there.
Okay.
Any other questions about my monthly or annual report? If not, I'm not going to talk about either one of those two. But what I do want to talk about tonight is something a little bit different. Last Thursday, I received a text from our school resource officer indicating he needed to speak with me. I gave him a shout on the phone, and I learned that of a 6th grade student at Central Elementary. His name is Noah Howard Hall. It seems that Noah was taken to the hospital on, I believe it was New Year's Eve, and has been in the hospital ever since. Noah was, it was determined he had a brain tumor. He had surgery to have the tumor removed. It was also found that it was an aggressive type of cancer. So the Hastings High School Student Council wanted to meet with us. Myself, the Deputy Chief, and Officer Sensiba met with the Student Council on Friday. It is their Winterfest. They're coming up on their Winterfest activities, and they wanted to do some sort of benefit for Noah and his family. So knowing that that we have done other events before, cops versus teachers, basketball games, they reached out to us. So we quickly kind of put some things together in regards to a benefit game. It's not going to be called cops versus teachers. It's going to be first responders versus teachers. Now, this is it's going to happen on February 5th. Very quick turnaround time on this. I know some of you maybe at Rotary today maybe heard a presentation by the student council. Again, we're turning this over very rapidly. Yeah, I have Officer Sensible making contact with the family and keeping them updated as to what we got going on. The student council is also doing several other types of events for donations for the family. You know, at this point, I don't know what Noah's what the outcome is going to be for Noah. At this point, we're going to do everything that we can do, you know, in regards to, you know, the first responders, you know, Berry County wide. We have put it out for everybody to participate. You know, obviously, we're looking for donations for Noah and his family. You know, the parents are making trips every day to and from the hospital. Again, obviously, we all know what medical bills cost, whether you have insurance or whether you don't. And no matter what, you know, we're going to do our best to, you know, see what we can raise for this young man and his family. Again, I know there's a planning commission meeting on the 5th, but, you know, those of you that aren't there, hopefully we can encourage you guys to come and, you know, we're going to see if we can fill up that high school gymnasium. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for, you know, people to attend and, you know, donate to, you know, the recovery of this young man and the help of his family. I don't have a lot of details for you tonight. Again, you know, this is, you know, something that we just learned about. But one thing that, you know, our teams are good at is, you know, last minute details and making things happen. So, you know, hopefully, you know, getting this word out to, you know, the council tonight and to whomever's here, I know the word will spread. We've been somewhat limited thus far on what we've put out on social media, just so we can make sure that, you know, obviously, you know, the things that we're putting out is the family is okay with. Again, February 5th, 6:30, high school. Obviously, also, if you have kids in school, I would assume they've probably maybe have mentioned some of this. And there's some also other events that the student council is putting on, like a volleyball game, all for donations for this family. I hope to have some more information to release here, hopefully maybe by tomorrow, with some photographs of the young man. But again, this is just something that, you know, we would like to have several weeks to plan these types of things, but when medical needs and necessities arise, there's just not a lot of time, especially, you know, the cost of everything. And, you know, not only the cost, but the cost of, you know, what the family's feeling. So if I can answer any question, I will. But again, stay tuned. We'll probably put some things out on our social media page. The student council is also doing the same thing. I know there's some flyers that have gone out. I have not released any of those here yet, just until I hear 100% word from the family, and then we will. But we will definitely take advantage of anybody we can in regards to getting this word spread, to get as many people up there and as many donations as we can receive for him. So, hope to see you all there. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, also in your packet, you have the city clerk treasurer, Chris Beaver's monthly financial report. Anybody have any questions of Chris? Anything to add, Chris?
Yes, not related to these reports, but related to our early voting. I had mentioned to you that the city was sending out a postcard with the early voting information. Unfortunately, the address and phone number on that postcard were incorrect. We realize that, so what we're doing is we are going to note it on our website and social media. We are going to put a correction in the banner and the reminder, and we will send out a new postcard that's going to note it's the corrected address and phone number on there. Again, the early voting's at the Hastings Community Education and Recreation Center, Saturday, the February 17th through Sunday, February 25th, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. daily.
9 straight days.
9 straight days.
We being reimbursed for any of this from the state?
We were reimbursed for the first one. We are going to have to incur the cost for the second.
The mailing.
Mailing going out, yes.
Any questions of Chris? Also in your packet, you have the Community Development Director Dan King's monthly and annual report. Everybody get a chance to look at it. Any questions of Dan? Anything additional to add, Dan?
Unless there's questions, I have nothing else to add.
Okay, reports and communications. Item A, library board minutes. In your packet, item B, you have a thank you letter from Carl Sushel for the ball drop. It was another great ball drop, and he's already planned one for 2024, 25. So if there's no, can I get somebody to make a motion to receive item A and B and place on file?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Motion by Brem, supported by Rezegi to place items A through B, accept them and place on file. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Public comment. Now, you've been sitting there all night long. You're not going to say anything? Well, get up there and interview. Well, she beat you.
Sorry.
3
For
minutes.
those of you who don't know me, I'm Stephanie Lehman. I'm the 911 director here in Berry County. I just wanted to say thank you for your support of our 800 megahertz tower project. I think it'll be a great partnership between 911 and the city of Hastings. It's going to help us create a stronger and more efficient platform for safety, not only for our citizens, but also for our first responders. So thank you so much. And if you have any questions or if you want to know progress on the project, please feel free to reach out at any time. I'm happy to come back and talk about it, or I can meet with any of you one-on-one to talk about the project if you wish. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kevin Wilkes. I'm a resident on East Mill Street, and I'm a civil engineer at Spicer Group, and I just wanted to stop in.
Can't hear you, Kevin.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. My name is Kevin Wilkes. I'm a resident of Hastings. I live on East Mill Street. I'm a civil engineer for Spicer Group, and I just stopped in to see what's going on. That's it.
Appreciate it. Come anytime. Come anytime. Any further comment? Hearing none, mayor and council comment. Bill, any comment tonight?
I have nothing.
Gordon?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking forward to the Green Street project. My family moved to Hastings back in 1994, and my parents have consistently complained about the trucks and fast traffic going down Green Street that's unimpeded, basically, and a small roundabout or something like that is definitely going to help that. So, thank you.
Randy?
No.
Al?
No comment.
Nothing
Jackie?
from me.
Norman?
No, not tonight.
Okay. Well, I missed a heck of a basketball game tonight, I heard. I heard my grandson made the final shot, and they called timeout, and he had a three-point shot. Mr. Taylor told me all about it. I could vision what he did. He made the final shot on a three-pointer, but they waved it off. They lost by how many points?
8-3.
Yeah. Anyhow, appreciate you being there. If there's nothing else come for council, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Motion by McLean, supported by Barlow, to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Do you have any business cards? Yes, sir. Business cards. Next time you get a chance, drop one off the track. We're always looking.